Hi everyone, welcome to a hot yoga sequence. So I'll wait for you to turn the heat up, as hot as it goes in your room. And a good idea to have a couple of blocks. If you don't have those, you can make do with, sometimes a little stack of books will help. But if you have a couple of blocks, it might be advantageous for you. So have a seat if you haven't already, and let your eyes close. You're in your own space, so it's somewhat familiar. We're speaking for a couple of classes about the difference between power and force. And a couple of ways we can think of that is, in power, we could use the word, let's say, for example, brilliant. And from a more forceful perspective, someone may use the word clever. So the difference between being brilliant or clever, or the difference between abundance or excessive. There's subtle but noticeable differences between these energies. A place of power, always from our heart, and sometimes the place of force comes from our mind. Let's just take about 10 seconds in silence here. You can reflect upon that, or just feel your belly move in and out. Softness, there's a lot of power in softness too. So soft breath, long breath. Two more breaths. And let's move, guys. Come forward into a ragdoll. Feet out nice and wide. The wider your stance, the more stable you're probably going to feel. And I'm going to raise the camera now since I'm standing. So just get comfortable in your ragdoll. Sway back and forth if you like. Confirm the sides of your feet are parallel to the sides of your mat. Opposite elbows with your hands usually feels good for us. Gives a little more traction for the spine. And heel toe your feet to wherever you normally practice. And leave a soft bend in your knees and roll on up. Standing at attention, hands to your heart center, and allow your eyes to be heavy again here. Press down with your feet, powerful legs. But we're not locking the knees, so that would be the difference in going from power into force by trying to go further than is actually necessary or even healthy. Lift your toes off your mat and keep pressing down with your feet. Softly float your toes down. Exhale, release your arms. Inhale, mountain pose. Take a couple of breaths with me here. Keep pressing down with your feet. Lift your pelvic floor muscles and squeeze your bottom front ribs down toward your navel. Breathe in here, right fingers to left wrist. And exhale, standing half moon over to your right. Breathe here. Strong legs. Powerful. Powerful breath, but it can still be soft. It takes a lot of power to be soft sometimes in this nutty world. Let's take two more breaths. Feel free to pull on your right arm with your left. Is really hard to cue backwards looking at yourself on the monitor. Exhale here. Inhale up to center. And use your exhale over to your left. Right hand can pull on your left arm to get a little more. And if your shoulders bother you like mine do, just drop your arm and just reach with one arm. long breath. Keep your bandhas. This is going to help you feel more power in your practice. So pelvic floor up, bottom ribs squeeze in. Exhale here. Inhale, rise, fill your lungs. And exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, forward fold. Take your arms with you. So if possible, squeeze the palms of the hands together. And if your elbows need to bend to do that, that's great. Keep your elbows from hyperextending if that's a characteristic of your body anyway. Stay with your breath. You've got 3 more. 2 more. Breathe in. Exhale, release your hands down. Separate your feet a little bit more for a big toe lock, aka Padagusthasana. Take your peace fingers, make little hooks with them. If you're not familiar with that, it looks kind of like this. And just hook around your big toes. So between your, just only hold your big toes. I've been doing some yard work. Looks like I better wash my toes. I like to do yard work barefoot. Elbows go out because you're pulling on your toes, but don't pull your toes off, so push your toes down into your mat. Keep your bandhas even here. Strong, powerful legs, powerful biceps, a soft mind to stay out of excess. On your exhale, release your toes, heel toe your feet to where you normally practice. And inhale, soften your knees, come on up. Mountain pose. This time you can do the same mudra, same grip if you like, with your fingers to the wrist, or steeple mudra. Breathe in here, and exhale over to your right. Long breath. Bring your right shoulder forward a touch, your left hip forward a touch. Maintain your breath. Let's take 2 more. Whenever your next inhale arrives, come up to center. And exhale over to your left. And this time your left shoulder may want to rock back a little bit, so bring it forward. And the right hip forward. Honor your breath. Exhale here. Use your inhale, come up to center. And exhale, forward fold. Excuse me, come back up, I forgot the back bend. Hands to your lower back, or you can keep the arms high. And exhale to your back bend. It's the second one. Lift the chest, tuck the tailbone under. So lift your pubic bone is another way to say that. Actually, it's anatomically more correct, I think. So little does a lot here in these back bends. Exhale here. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, forward fold. I really mean it this time. You can find the big toes again with the peace fingers, or if you want to go deeper, slide the fingers in from underneath your feet. The deepest version would be from underneath the heels. So bend your knees as much as you think is healthy. Give them a pull. I'm trying to facilitate just a little more length in your spine. Breathe in. Exhale, release your hands and bring your toes out about 45 degrees. So you can't see my feet here, so your feet would be out about like this. For Malasana. And come on down, it's a deep yogic squat. You can use your blocks or anything, a stack of books, We'll be here for a little bit in case you want to grab a stack of books or a block. We'll keep you here a little bit longer than normal today, in case you need to grab a couple of props. So lift your chest. We tend to kind of hunch forward in Malasana, so lift the chest. Try to press into the outer parts of your feet. It's a great posture for your root and sacral chakras. A lot of our personality comes from. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Also a nice posture for digestion, as well as your groins, your ankles. All of our postures have something. There's several things that are so good for us. Exhale, plant your hands. Parallel your feet once more. And roll on up. Standing at attention, hands to your heart center. Close your eyes for a couple of breaths and honor the difference in you between power or force. For example, the best leaders in the world are always leading through example, through power. And yet we see a lot of them trying to lead through force. And let's move on, guys. Chair series. Inhale, arms out. Bend your knees. So spread your fingers out really wide so you maybe feel a stretchiness in the palm of your hand. We usually feel a little more power in our posture when we add those little details. And it certainly sends more energy through your arms. Stay light in your toes. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Exhale here. Inhale, lift your heels. If your shoulders are starting to fatigue like mine would, I'll bring my hands to heart center. But the heels are up, and the higher you go, the more stable you get. Hard part is just the journey there, like so many parts of our life. Keep your ribs pulling in. Another way to say it would be to lift the back ribs. Exhale here. Inhale, straighten your knees, leave the heels up, and touch the knees together. Breathe here, guys. Every wobble, you're getting a little bit stronger. That's it. Exhale here. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, heels down. Standing head to knee. On the inhale, lift your left knee. And reach your hands down underneath. It's so weird to cue backwards here and see myself on the opposite side. I always cue facing the students, so I'm used to cueing backwards, but now I have to cue forwards. You have the option to stay here, or maybe bring the head to the knee, or maybe extend your leg out. You've got 5 more breaths here. If you practice this series in our studios, you know it's a doozy. So think humidity, maybe that will help. Exhale here. Inhale, 1 leg mountain. And exhale, figure 4. Standing on your right foot. Encourage your left knee to go down toward the mat. Spread your toes. Same idea as spreading the fingers in postures. If you want to up level, you can go down to a toe squat here, or you can raise the arms. That will raise the center of gravity, make that a little more challenging. Exhale here. come on up. And find dancer inside of your left foot. I like to press my thumb into the arch of my foot. Helps me feel a little more power, a little more stability, and it reminds me to spread my toes. Bring your left ribs forward. Two more breaths. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Very nice, guys. One more side on one foot. Inhale, one leg mountain, lift your right knee. And reach down and find the underside of your foot. And maybe the head of the knee, or maybe extend the leg out. In any version, you're building strength and stability. Every time you wobble, you're increasing your power, your strength. Excuse me, please. Exhale here. Inhale, one leg mountain. Lift your knee. And exhale, figure four. Right knee bent, right ankle on your left thigh. You notice the difference when you flex your toes. It's kind of a safety thing here too when we bend the knee at this compromised position. You'll notice a difference when you spread your toes. Take your up level if you like, toe squat, or arms lift. Shoulders back if possible. That's the hardest thing for me in this posture. Exhale here. Inhale, one leg mountain. And exhale, dancer, Natarajasana. Breathe. So when we ask you to breathe, it's to invite you to breathe with intention. It brings more power into our practice, more focus. And if we focus on our breathing, we don't push ourselves into excess in our posture. So we stay away from that force and we stay within power. Breathe in here. And exhale, release. Standing at attention. Hands at your heart center. And turn 90 degrees to your left. And inhale, mountain pose. Your bottom ribs probably just poked out, so squeeze them back in and tighten your pelvic floor. Breathe in. Exhale, prayer twist to your right. Even out your knees. Stay soft in your toesies. Be sure you exhale fully so you can make more space for your inhale. Because there's not much room to breathe when we're in a twist. Let's take 2 more breaths. Prepare with your exhale. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up, fingers spread, ribs in, and exhale, prayer twist to your left. Even out your knees, root into the front part of your heel bone. At least that's what works for me. I feel a little more stability. Slide your shoulder blades closer to each other. You might feel a little more broadening in the collarbone and a little bit deeper sensation in the twist. Let's take 2 more breaths. Deep twists are so good for us. Exhale here. Inhale, mountain. And exhale, step out really wide and interlace your fingers behind your back. Breathe in, lift your chest. You've done a couple of these already. And exhale, forward, wide leg forward fold with your bind, Prasarita C. Try to maintain a flat back, and by that I mean stick your butt up toward the ceiling and try to create like a big, well, a medium back bend here. It takes a lot of back and butt muscles here. Stay out of force with the shoulders. Nice. Breathe in here, guys. Exhale, release your arms. Inhale, halfway up, strong back, strong glutes. Exhale, sassy hands to the hips. And inhale, star pose. Exhale to your right, warrior two. So warrior two, you've probably done, 7,000 or 8,000 of these. My mat was slippy there. So a place of power with the foundation. Knife edge of the back foot, heavy. Knuckle of the front big toe powerfully pushes down. If you feel you're leaning forward like this, draw the shoulders back over the hips. If it's comfortable enough for your neck, gaze straight over your middle finger. Rotate your thighs outward. And try to scissor the feet in toward each other. Not a place we usually feel really strong in. Breathe in here. Exhale here. Inhale, reverse warrior. Bring your left shoulder behind you a little bit more, so you're rotating the ribs to the left a touch more. If your front leg got a little lazy, bring it back to a place of power. But again, try not to press yourself into force here. Slow and easy does it in our yoga practice. Last full inhale here. Exhale to your extended side angle. So elbow can rest on the thigh if you like. Or if you feel like you're a little more, if you're open to it, you can slide the elbow down. Top arm can reach straight up for a little more release in the side body. Stretch it toward the top corner of the room. Rotate your ribs to the right here. Stay heavy in your back leg. More breaths. Just kidding. Exhale. Inhale up to star. And exhale, warrior two to your left. If the shoulders are tired, you can bend the elbows and bring the palms up, or hands to heart. So no pain. If we go into a place of pain, we've gone into force. And yoga is not a forceful practice. 2 more breaths. More weight to the back leg. Exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Both legs still strong. Knife edge of the back foot, of course, part of your foundation. And create that place of strength and power in your front leg without going into force. How's your breath doing? Hopefully you can hear it. So you can always use the playlist that we offer you here in the chat box, or your own music. Breathe in. Exhale to your side angle and breathe here. Rotate your ribs to the left. Even that weight out on both legs without mashing into the arches of the feet, hopefully. By the way, I miss you guys. And you can see me, but I can't see you. Doesn't seem fair. And it's hard to teach with nobody in the room. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Exhale here. Inhale the star that you are. Exhale, hands to your heart. And step to the front of your mat, facing what you would call forward, wherever you're in your space. Step your right foot to the back of your mat for a second wide leg forward fold. Confirm that your feet are parallel first, okay? The toes tend to go out like a duck, so bring them in, maybe even a little pigeon-toed. And if you like, take a look at what I'm doing here. I'm sticking my bum out, lifting my chest, so I've got a really strong back here. And exhale, forward fold. Notice the back bend as I come down. Hands can reach for your mat, or fingers to the big toes. If you got another option here, it's all yours to do, including a headstand if you like. I'm going to stay here for about 10 breaths. So lift your butt bones up toward the ceiling if you're not going upside down. So I'd like you to lift your bum enough that you can feel it in your glutes and your hammies. Just enough that you can feel it. Non-excess, but enough that you feel more strength in what you're doing. Two more breaths here. Strong glutes, strong legs. Lift your kneecaps by pressing into the outer part of your feet. If you're upside down, please come down. Everyone exhale. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, hands to your hips. Keep your back and butt strong. Inhale up, star. Exhale to your right, warrior two. Straighten the front knee for triangle. And maybe take a look at me as I come down. You want to reach forward and then tick-tock down. And we want to get the roundness out of this area. So it takes a lot of strength. Use your opposite obliques and try to get this more flat. So your top ribs. Rotate your front thigh to the right. Rotate your back thigh to the left. This will adjust your hips. Some of you know I call this trichasana instead of trikonasana. This is one after 12 years and just starting to feel like I've got a powerful triangle. It may not be a deep triangle, but it's hopefully just a powerful one. 2 more breaths. Exhale, bend your knees slightly. Inhale up to star. Exhale to the opposite side, to your left. Warrior two. Straighten your front knee. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, triangle. So just powerful legs here, guys. Press into the back heel. Press into the knuckle of your front big toe and try to push your mat forward with your left foot. Slide your left glutes underneath. So again, that rotating the front thigh to the right, to the left, and back thigh to the right. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Strong obliques, guys. Strong obliques. Powerful. Exhale, bend your knees slightly. Inhale up to start. Exhale, hands to your heart. And step to the front of your mat. For our pyramid series, step your left foot toward the back of your mat, about 2/3 of the way. I think I'll lower the camera a little bit now. Oh, I have to, did it focus again? Yeah, great. So, left foot to toward the back of your mat. This is so weird to cue backwards. Forward again. Front knee is straight. Bind your arms behind you, your hands behind you. The object here is to keep the hips as parallel to the front of your mat as you can. So in other words, the awkward way. And powerful legs support you as you bring the crown of the head forward. A couple of options here. Your head could go toward your knee, or what I try to do is I try to flatten my back. And once again, get the glutes involved here. And pull your right butt up toward the ceiling. Trying to close the hips here. With your front foot forward, that hip thinks it needs to go forward too, but you're going to ask it in a soft yet strong way, pull back. It will help if you push forward with your front foot. Exhale here for single leg swan. Inhale, launch forward, keep the bind if you like. Lift the back leg. Spread your lifted toes, it will help. Press through your heel. Press through both heels. Try to maintain your breath awareness. A lot to focus on, I know. Breathe in here. Exhale, standing splits. Leg stays up. You can bring your fingers down to your blocks or your books or maybe your mat. Try to straighten the heck out of your lifted leg. But leave a little bend in your standing leg. Just a little baby bend. Let's take 2 more breaths, and you're off of that hip. Breathe in. Exhale, pyramids, the footsteps 2/3 of the way back. Place your blocks or place your block or your books inside of your right foot. And as you place your hand on your prop, and inhale, lift your, your left hand on your blocks, and inhale, lift your right arm. So again, try to close your hips here. Powerful legs. And we're trying to create the twist from the middle of the back, not the lower back and the hips. So what I'll do sometimes is I'll bring my hand back to my sacrum and make sure that it's like a table that I can set a glass on. Deep breath. I know it's a little challenge in this. Breathe in. And exhale, release. Forward fold, top of your mat. And roll up, guys. One more side, we're going down to the belly. This time, step your right foot to the back of your mat. Square your hips. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And exhale, go forward, 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 and maybe down happens, maybe it doesn't. Doesn't matter. This posture is largely for your hips and your hamstrings. It can be a heart opener too. Getting into the sacral chakra. And if you keep your bandhas, you're going to get into your root chakra a little bit more. So, Ricky, what are the bandhas? Well, I'll tell you what they are. Lift your pelvic floor. Squeeze your bottom front ribs in. So you got more power in your torso, in your core. Exhale, prepare. Inhale, single leg swan. You can keep the hands if you like. or you can bring them down. It doesn't really matter. You're still creating more agility, more endurance, more stamina. I can tell when I go back to the studio and practice, this sequence is going to clobber me with the heat. I haven't been practicing this enough. Breathe in here. Exhale, standing splits. Leg stays up. Unless your hip is really tired, it's totally fine to come down to a knee and just give the hip some love. Again, we're here to be nice to ourselves. We're not here to go into excess. Last cycle of breath here. Breathe in. Exhale, pyramid. And place your block inside of your, the front foot. It's so weird to cue like this. Your right hand to your block and inhale, twist to your left. Thanks for bearing with my hesitation, guys. Appreciate it. And once again, I really miss you guys. There's going to be a lot of hugs going on in a couple weeks. 2 strong legs. Back heel, push it down. Try to stretch your front foot forward. Big breath in. Exhale, release. And step forward. Forward fold. And lie down on your belly. Bring your left ear to your mat. Just enjoy gravity here for a while. Inhale, your back lifts. And as you exhale, it falls back down. Place of softness, place of surrender. Bring your chin to your mat for Cobra. And as you inhale, lift your chest. Your fingers can be on or off your mat if you like. Your body's pretty warmed up, so it's okay to take this a little bit deeper than a baby cobra. You can take a full cobra or maybe a teenage cobra. Nah, don't do teenagers. They can be kind of crazy. Let's take 2 more breaths. Such a great back strengthener. Breathe in. Exhale, release. Opposite ear to your mat, just take a couple of breaths for a rest. Maybe you feel some warmth in your back. Maybe you don't. But whatever you feel is perfect for you. And please bring your chin back to your mat. Arms are still alongside your body, but flip them over so the palms are down. And slide your hips, kind of rock them back and forth until you can get the pinkies as close as possible. It's going to depend on your shoulder openness. And from here, spread your fingers out. Take all the real estate you can up with your hands. And I'll give you the choice today. Maybe do one leg or the other leg one at a time. Or maybe both legs and inhale, let the magic begin. Lift. This is a rascal posture. Give me 2 more breaths. Lift, 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 lift. Last breath. And release. Nice. Opposite ear to your mat. Release your arms out from underneath you. Any little movements, sashaying of the hips or windshield wiper of the shins feels good. Do you. we have one more back strengthener. And chin to your mat. Bend your knees, reach up for the outside edges of your feet. If your shoulders are open enough and you'd like to, you can reach for the inner arch of your foot, like so. But otherwise, outer edge of your feet. Exhale here. Inhale, floor bow. Strong legs, strong back. Take the wrinkles out of the back of your neck. Keep your bandhas. 3, 2, and release. Opposite ear to your mat. Sit your feet are up. If you want a windshield wiper, feel free to do that. And you might notice that doing these postures in a room that's not as warm, our body's going to feel a little bit tighter. It's not going to soften as much. So honor that, and again, try not to push too deep into these. So power without force. And part of the power in our practice is knowing where our edge is and not going past that, honoring that. That's a powerful place to be. And press on up to hero's pose. So seated just like I am. Sometimes it feels better to sit on a block. Or if you have a pillow, I have this little skinny bolster that I'll sometimes put behind my knees to keep myself in a place of safety and softness. It seems proper. Grab a block or your book. Place your block on your left thigh. Raise your right arm. Repeat after me. I solemnly swear to keep lifting my pubic bone. Thank you for rolling your eyes at me. I love you guys. And from here, if you're feeling enough in your thighs or your hip flexors, great. If you want to feel more, walk the hands back to keep your promise. Pull your pubic bone up, 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 up. You'll feel more. But again, that place where you just feel something is enough. Excess is too much. Two more breaths. On your inhale, come on up. Make sure you're as comfortable in your little nest here. And inhale, arms up. Exhale, come on down as slow as you can. If it's possible, land your forehead before your hands. It's not going to be possible for most of us. But coming down slow reminds us to use that Uddiyana Bandha. There's so much power when we use our bandhas. Long breaths. Straighten your elbows. Again, go to your edge. Try not to force anything. Exhale here, if it's possible. As you inhale, lift the hands first. If not, just come on up. Do it on the inhale. It's a little more difficult. And exhale, release your hands. Take a little break here. Eyes can even be heavy here. Difference between brilliant and clever. One has a little more of a positive spin, and the other one not so much. We can do that with a whole list of words. There's a nice list in that book that I was mentioning. Great book, by the way. Great, great book. And let's move on, guys. Come up to your knees. You might want to have a couple of blocks handy. Camel's next. Blocks can be handy right back here if you like. Support your lower back. Press down with your knees. Lift your chest. Or maybe, another option is to squeeze a block between your knees. That's going to give us a little more foundation. Kind of add a practice here. And chest up, tuck your tailbone down, and support your back. If you feel like you want to go a little bit further, you can reach for your blocks. A few of us will be able to reach the heels. And if you're not able to reach the heels, if you curl the toes under, that will lift your heels and make them a little more reachable. And if you don't reach them today, no worries. You've already reached the goal, you're on your mat. Exhale here, make sure you support your lower back, please. Inhale, rise back up. And exhale, have a seat. Close your eyes. Let the spine reset. My friend Lisa out west used to say, she would ask us to visualize little bitty Christmas lights all up and down our spine, kind of flashing and blinking, reminding us that there's lots of energy going up and down our spine, especially after these back bends. And please slide your eyes open. Have a seat. Excuse me, we forgot rabbit. Take your thumbs to the outer edges of your heels. So thumbs out like this and just bring them to the outer edge and wrap the fingers around your heels. So they'll be on your butt right now too. Tall spine. So press down with your sitting bones. And exhale, bring the crown of the head forward and then down on your mat. So the top of your head, not the forehead, but the top of your head on your mat. And from here, inhale, lift your hips. And there's no way I could speak and cue you in that position, so I'll have to do it from here. It's a counter pose for the back bends that you've just been doing. So it's a tug of war. Pull on your heels and lift your hips. Pull on your heels, lift your hips. Again, to your edge, but not excess. Nice, guys. Breathe in. Exhale, bring her down. And roll on up. Eyes closed. Arms comfortable. And yoga teaches us to be okay to be still. And it takes a lot of strength to be still sometimes. To stay in that place of response and out of reaction. And let's move on, guys. Extend your legs out in front of you. It looks like we're going to be a little short on time. But I still rather do this short ending because we're not as warmed up in the cool room. So we'll take a long head to knee posture, or Shavasana. Bring your sole of your right foot in toward your groin. Maybe scoop out the extra from underneath your butt bone. Pull your toes up toward your knee of your right leg, your left leg, excuse me. Press down with your sitting bones, up you go, and come out and forward. Pull your left femur back into the hip socket. Right shoulder down and forward. Make sure your toes stay flexed. Engage your left quads. Long breaths. 3 more. So extended leg. Confirm that it's really strong. Doesn't have to be 100%, but I would like it to be 70 or 80%. Exhale here. Inhale, rise on up. Lift your knee. Hop the foot over. Right hand behind you as close to your butt as you can get it. So I'll give you a little visual here. So if the hand's back here, we're going to probably round our spine. If the hand is nice and close to the butt, it's going to make our spine much taller and much safer to twist. Left arm up and reach out over to your right. If this bothers your shoulders, just hook your elbow around your knee. Keep pressing down with your sitting bones. So again, no lazy spine, strong butt, please. Pull the toes of your extended leg up toward your knee. Breathe in, look forward slowly. And exhale, release your twist. If you like counter twist, reach to the back left corner of your mat. A little miniature push up. And inhale, come on up. And switch sides. One more side, we're going down, guys. Actually, we're not going to be that short on time after all. So bring the left knee, foot to the groin. So try to square the hips to the front of your mat. So pull your left hip back and or slide your right hip forward. Arms up, heavy butt bones, strong toes, and reach out and forward. Bring your left shoulder down. Imagine a strong set of sitting bones here and untuck your hips. You'll feel it more in your hammies when you do that. So untuck them. In other words, make a little duck butt here. And those of you who know my jokes, you can use them there. In other words, make a duck butt. You can quack a joke if you like. Exhale here. Inhale, rise on up. Lift your knee. Step the foot over. Place your left hand behind your glutes, really close. Inhale, arm up, and twist over to your left. As much as possible, get the sole of your foot to your mat. It'll be the sole of your left foot. Shavasana. Pose of the sage. Prepare with your exhale. Slowly inhale, look forward. Exhale, release your twist. And if you like, reach to the back right corner of your mat for a counter twist with a little miniature push-up. Just anything that feels like it's neutralizing and feels yummy. Sweet, guys. Extend both legs out. Breathe in. And exhale, lie down on your back for Shavasana. Just get really comfortable. So I always pretty much give the same 3 cues here. It helps me and it's helped most people that I've spoken to. So make a little altar for your heart by bringing your shoulder blades a little closer together. Just kind of wiggle them closer together. And you'll probably feel more of a place of comfort, which is definitely what we want here. Tuck your tailbone forward, so lift your pubic bone, in other words. And it might feel good to wiggle the shoulder blades down toward the hips just a teeny bit more. It's worth the time here, the investment here. Just to create as comfortable of a place as possible. And the most powerful part of us is in our heart. It's where the stillness lies. If we can tap into that, we are a powerful human being. So your Shavasana can be the most powerful posture of the day for you. Breathe in. Exhale, Shavasana. I'll bring you out in a couple of minutes. And begin. If you're ready. If you're not ready, please stay right where you are and try to ignore me. If you are ready to start moving a little bit more, pay attention to your breath. Just bring a little more awareness to your physical body now. Remembering that we have a physical body, but we are not the physical body. Same with your toes and fingers. Slowly, really slowly, start to feel your fingers, toes. Maybe they move, maybe they don't. Breath continues to deepen. Do it however feels best for you. A lot of us like to take a big breath in and stretch up over the arms up over the head. And however you do it, roll over to your right side to a fetal position. Knees high up toward the chest. And there's, no matter what the theme is that I use for the class, I can always find something to theme to in a fetal posture. And with our theme of the day, we came in as really still beings, completely present. We were unmanifest consciousness. And then we slowly learn to manifest. There's this manifesting current that comes down from above us through our chakra system. Just as there's a liberating current that comes from the root chakra up. But the most powerful part of you is there in your heart. That's stillness. The power to be still. And come on up to a seated position. Eyes are closed, hands to your heart center, please. Let your thumbs press against your sternum. And we'll take one Om together, and I'd like you to feel that vibration, the thumbs to the sternum. Breathe in deeply. How. feel that vibration. The sound of the universe. Manifesting consciousness. Thumbs to your third eye. Take a big inhale, and we honor that consciousness and spirit. We bow forward and say, Namaste. I really miss you guys. And if you're in Des Moines, I miss you too, even though I might have never met you. But I can't wait to meet you. Okay. Love you, monkeys. Bye-bye.